वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Today I am going to speak about a controversial point that does God really exist from the Sikh perspective? God, the creator and the sustainer of the universe, in fact, needs no proof for his existence. He is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. In addition to the world prophets and saints, countless people have had God's vision, and innumerable people have had an encounter with Him in their mystical or religious experiences. God has met many, has spoken to many, and has nursed many. He's always there when people need Him and need His help and call Him from the depths of their hearts. The true prayers are always answered by Him, provided the prayers come from the heart. He is the greatest of the great, the most perfect, invincible, unfathomable Master. He is benevolent, merciful, and most lovable friend. His main abode, according to the Sikh thought, is somewhere above in the skies, and it has a nameplate of Sachkhand, the abode of the truth. God has the power to present at many places at the same time. He has a complete record of all actions of everyone, living or dead. He can manifest in any form. And that is why sometimes we say that he has no form. So he has appeared in different forms to different people at different places. Guru Nanak, the founder of the Sikh religion, visited God's abode on a personal invitation from him. In his unequivocal terms, the Guru said after he came back from the Almighty that there was only one God. There are a number of hymns in Guru Granth Sahib where Guru Nanak says, Eko hai bhai eko hai, he's one, he's the only one. Gura ek dev bujhai, sabna jiyan ka ek data, so main visar na jai. The Guru has given only one instruction, that there is only one God. Don't forget him. He said he is the creator, devoid of fear, devoid of enmity, unborn and beyond death. He was there before the start of the time, was there when the time started. He is there to regulate the time and will be there when the new round of time will start. Though he has created the universe, but he himself is uncaused, self-eliminated. In a debate about God, the argument for his existence comes from many different forms and from many different quarters. Some draw from science, some from history, some from personal experience, and some on philosophy. Some talk of theology. Science, with its tool of inquiry, can only look into physically visible or recordable or measurable information regarding matter. The existence of God cannot be tested in the science lab. Talking of history and philosophy, the arguments they have put in are called in philosophical terms as the cosmological arguments. The complexity of our planet points to a deliberate designer who not only planned and created the universe, but has also sustained it all throughout the history. And that is what the Guru Nanak has said. Guru Nanak says that all instructions, all teachings, all training comes from with an intent. And someone who writes an instruction manual does it with a purpose. For every cell of our bodies, there exists a very detailed instruction code, much like a miniature computer program. And one cannot find instructions, precise information like this without someone intentionally writing it or creating it, unless there is an author. And that author is God. God of the universe has made this manual. It is said by all prophets, including Guru Nanak. And Guru Nanak, in one of his hymns, says, and he goes a little further, he says, God himself is uncaused. He says, self-illuminated. And he says, Apine aap sadhyo. He has created himself. And then he says, Apine rachyo now. And then the God created all these instruction manuals that our world is being run. And then he says, he made the universe. Dui kudrat sadiye. Then all this great expanse was created for a purpose. Kare asan baitho chao. And he sits and watches it. Himself is detached from all this. According to the Sikh thought, God does not force us to believe in him, though he can, or if he wanted to. Instead, he has provided sufficient proof of his existence for us to willingly respond to him. The movement of the solar system, the Earth's perfect distance from sun and its orbit, the movement of the moon and its movement, the qualities of different gases, the unique chemical properties of water, the oceans, the vegetation, the forest, the mind, the functioning of the human body, and the body of all other creatures, the forests and the mines, the mastery of the human brain, DNA, the sciences, the arts, the languages, and the designs, and movement of countless other objects. It is all designed by God. Philosophers call this as teleological arguments. Now, then Gurujis also argue that God exists from premises which are supposed to derive from sources other than the observation of the universe. Philosophers call this as ontological argument. This argument seeks to prove the existence of God from the laws of logic and logic alone. It argues that once we mentally grasp the concept of God, we can see that God exists and that his non-existence is impossible. If one can conceive God, then God must exist. He is the greatest of the great, and nothing can be conceived greater than him. Guru Arjan says, Tud bin duja nahi koi, tu kartar kare so hoy. There is no one equal to God. And whatever happens, happens according to his command, his will. Talking of his greatness, he says, Koi na jane tumhara ant, unche te uncha bhagavant. No one knows God's limits. He is the greatest of the great. And then we come to the most important argument, which we call as the moral argument. The theory book of karmas, cause and effect. Almost all religions have one form or the other of the karma theory. And this, what philosophers call as the moral argument. The moral argument seeks to prove the existence of God from the fact that there are moral laws. And on these laws rest the action of human beings. Those who do good karmas, good actions, good deeds, they are rewarded. And those who do bad deeds, they are punished. These are the strict commands of living. They tell us what to do and how to live an honorable and honest life. The commands are unique in themselves. Guru Arjan says, Jeha bhije so lune, karma sandla khet. The life is a battleground of actions, and a person reaps whatever he sows. The existence of moral laws demonstrates the existence of being who is greater than any one of us, and that he rules over the complete and the whole creation. God is there. He will always be there. Guru Nanak saw him. He met him. All Sikh Gurus were very close to him. All world prophets have had a talk with him. They personally met him. He regulates the universe. He needs no proof. He needs no proof. He exists and he will always be there. वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा